In this video, I want to keep this as short as possible. I'm going to talk about missing persons or missing people. Now, I reside in the Netherlands, in Dutch is Nederland at the moment, so I'll talk about the Dutch context. This website is called, I pronounce it in Dutch, moordatlas.nl. It's actually an atlas of murder. It's the year 2017. And these are all the killings and murders that happened this year that have been registered by the authorities. And down here you can click on one of them and look deeper in the cases. These two were in the mainstream media. These two teenage girls were killed, were murdered. Well, I want to talk about missing people. Well, in the Netherlands, if you live here, you can go to politie.nl, go to gezocht en vermist, means want not refugees, I mean fugitives and missing. It's in English. And you can go to missing children, missing adults, unidentified people. Those are the corpus they found, but they can't, without any ID. These are the missing, what they call missing children. I'm not going through the whole list with you, because first of all, I don't know these people on a personal level. These are the missing adults. I don't know these people at all. I only know the data that has been provided to us publicly over here. You can go through the list yourself. Why am I showing this? Look, this is the real world we're living in. Well, the world ain't that real. Say, what we call the world, how we think the world operates, not real, is an illusion, but nevertheless, well, there is an outworking of the world out there, and people being missed, people being kidnapped, homicide, those are all part of the world. And we are in the world, so we have to acknowledge that these things happen. What we should not do is getting into a fear mode. I've made a short summary a while ago in which I've explained that most crime are rituals. What do I mean by that? I've already explained it back then, but for those who haven't watched that video or those other videos, I'll explain it one more time. And this has nothing to do with the Dutch context, it has to do with crime everywhere. Most crime is organized. There are incidents happen. What I mean with an incident, let's say you're at a cafe and some people have emotional pain, they're getting drunk and they begin to fight. You have incidents, alright? So I'm not saying incidents don't happen, they do. You have school fights. So you have incidents, don't get me wrong. But when you talk about crime, things that haunt communities, most of it is organized. And organized crime is managed by what you can call handlers, and those handlers are working for what you can call wizards, or people call them the Illuminati and those other names. I don't really like the name Illuminati. It has become like a brand for conspiracy theorists, but okay, you can call them the Illuminati, you can call them the powers that be, you can call them the Apollonists because they worship Apollo. But well, how it works is this: those wizards, they are completely sold out to Satan, and they are the bodily government of Satan on the earth. And they are also called the shadow government because they work in the shadow. Yet they communicate through symbolism and through numerology. And they have handlers who are also inaugurated into the shadow government. Those handlers are not wizards, so they don't have much paranormal abilities, but they do get their charms from those wizards. And those handlers, they have projects, and those projects can be a child prostitution ring, or a few street gangs, youth gangs, or it can be money laundering, whatever. They have, and they also have more legal operations they also have. And often they send some of their handlers into institutions or organizations or even in churches in order to infiltrate those places. That's how they operate now. When it comes to crime, about missing people, there is a pattern I've noticed. Again, I'm not going through all of these files over here. These are public. There's just a pattern I've noticed. And if you're working in law enforcement or in investigation, you might agree with me. When it comes to missing people, often those are people that had a routine that they held onto. And something, the routine was disturbed, and that's why people noticed that. Hold on a minute. For example, let's say you have Susie. Susie, I know I use that name a lot. I don't use many original names in my illustration, but okay, let's say you have a girl named Susie. And Susie is, she goes to the supermarket every Tuesday at 4 o'clock. That's her routine. She's working full-time, and on Tuesdays she goes to the supermarket. After she buys the same stuff. Not the same, buys the same products. So you have this guy working in the supermarket that secretly has a crush on her, but he enjoys working on Tuesdays because he knows Susie is coming by. Then one day Susie doesn't come. And the guy thinks, hold on a minute, where is Susie? Next week again, she's not there. Then the guy begins to ask about this Suzanne, and he finds out that she hadn't appeared at work for almost 2 weeks. And this guy then goes to the police and reports it. Suzanne's relatives are shocked because they thought, well, Suzanne is busy with her job. She's a real career woman. She doesn't want to be disturbed. So they left her alone. Only once in a while they contacted her. They respected her privacy. Well, it's this validation of Suzanne's routine that became her doom. Why? Because that guy in the supermarket was the only one really paying attention to her. And I've raised my voice now because even though it's just an illustration, I just want to make something clear here. In this illustration I gave to you, that guy in a supermarket who's only 15 years old was the only one paying attention to a 28-year-old woman. Well, she was in a routine, and all the other people she had contact with, like relatives, friends, were also in a routine. And this is what I wanna warn you. When you get stuck in a routine, you become blind to the routine you're stuck in. Here's the thing, however. People that, let's say let's go further into the illustration I gave to you. Suzanne went to the supermarket every Tuesday. And at the supermarket, there was this handler that was appointed by some wizard nearby. And the wizard told him, pay attention to anyone that comes regularly to the supermarket. If you notice anyone, take a picture of her secretly, give it to me and my colleagues going to decide if she's a good sacrifice or not. If you get a good sacrifice for us, you're going to be promoted. So the handler is over there. The handler is handling shoplifting. There's a gang that shoplifts in the neighborhood, and he's managing it, but nobody knows it. So the handler is paying attention, and he knows that this is young, beautiful woman with curly, long hair. She has brunette hair, and he took a picture of her and gave to the wizard. The wizard had other people going after it, and he found out she works at a law firm. She makes good money, and she has a busy schedule. So one day, the handler was ordered to arrange the kidnapping. So the handler had 3 gang members that were waiting outside with a car, and when Suzanne walked out with her groceries, they grabbed her, put her in the car, and drove her away. Now what happened to Suzanne? They locked her up in a basement. They've sodomized her, sexually molested her, tortured her, just to increase the negativity in her energy field. And when the negativity was so high, they ritually killed her. as sacrifice to the evil spirits, because demons feed off of that negative energy. And the handler, since then, after 2 weeks, he receives an envelope at home with a bank code of a new bank account, with a new bank card, and he went to check out the new bank account, and there was 200,000 euros upon it. And he also had tickets to, I don't know, to Creta or to some other luxurious destination. Now, what I've told now was a parable. It's a fictive account, but that's how such things operate. Look, I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to warn you that don't get used to a routine. You know, a routine is seen as something safe, something that you can rely upon, but a routine can also be dangerous because many of these people, I'm saying all, when you look at least at the reports they're giving, they had a routine, and the people around them, and they were distracted by the routine, and that's how handlers could make their move. Now look, if you have people that tend to call you once in a while, it may not be people you really like, or if you have people on Facebook, it can be some old schoolmate or whoever. If you have someone that frequently tends to ask how you are, how you're doing, you may think they're nosy, that they have to mind their own business. Look, they can be a blessing in disguise, because that means that there is someone paying attention to you. If everyone leaves you completely alone in your comfort zone, and everyone validates your so-called privacy, if that happens 100%, you are in danger. Because that means that when you go missing, when you're taken out, that means that most people are not even aware. Look, for those that expect me to go into these cases, I'm sorry I have to disappoint you. I just wanted to point out, by pointing these files to you, which are public, that people from all walks of life, all professions, and all ethnicities go missing. It's not just people from the ghetto or people from a bad neighborhood, it happens everywhere, because you need to understand, handlers, their job is to handle operations of darkness wherever they are. When they have infiltrated an organization or a community, they have to remain under the radar, meanwhile initiating people that are wounded. People that are emotionally scarred and wounded are easily drawn into, they're easily drawn in because they're so vulnerable, they're drawn into negative operations. And handlers do that. Handlers also look for blood sacrifices. And they choose targets that are easily missed. I don't say easily missed in a way to offend the people that have gone missing, but easily missed in the sense that they know that these people are in a routine. People don't pay that much attention onto them, or these people aren't liked. These are people that are disliked by their environment. Those are the types of people they go after, often. Because they know people don't like you, so people don't really want to think about you. So if things happen to you, some are going to be relieved secretly, or they're going to show sympathy to the community, but just to be polite. And look, sometimes when a handler wants to target someone, they even cause controversy surrounding that individual, spreading rumors, and even literally cause an individual to come in a negative daylight, to make people gossip and talk about the individual. You know why? Because they know that once you are targeted by gossip and you're targeted by negative attention, there's already negative energy flowing towards you. So that is already weakening your own energy fields. Has already made you vulnerable for other attacks by both paranormal entities and by other people. So, okay, that's what I wanted to say in this video. It is almost 50 minutes long. I didn't want to make it this long. Just realize, we are in the world. I'm talking to believers now. We are in the world. So till the day Christ returns, or this body of yours passes away, you'll be faced with the dangers of this world. Don't get into a fear mode, because wizards and handlers, or let me say the shadow government, they want you trapped in fear. That's Satan's purpose. Now you're not going to fear because God has not given us a spirit of fear, but you have been given a spirit of a sound mind. So that's why I inform you about these things. And if you, I'm talking to you, ladies, if you find someone that suddenly begins to contact you out of the blue on a regular basis, I'm not telling you to be frightened and to project creepy fear upon the other individual, but whether it's a man or a woman or an elderly individual or young person, doesn't matter. Just keep those people in prayer, and if you notice anything weird, just back off and lower contact, and if needed, break all contact. I'm not saying that men are not kidnapped and all of that. I'm not saying that, but often females tend, I'm not saying this females in general, if it's all females, I'm not sexist over here, but often a lot of females go missing because they don't look at the big picture. Let's say that you, okay, I make this video a bit longer, but I don't care. Let's say that you are just hurt because your boyfriend broke with you, and now you encounter a woman at the job and you become friends with her. Why? Because she understands you. Okay, that wound that you had made you vulnerable to be targeted, and you're now targeted without you being aware of it. That's what I mean. So ladies, look at the big picture, and if you sense anything wrong, just back off. Well, that's it for now. I am about to move. May the grace of Christ Jesus be with you. Be at peace.